Imagine a guy steps up to you. He is 6'4", 250 pounds of pure muscle. He looks like he eats dumbbells for breakfast. You're average. If you try to match his strength, you lose. If you try to trade punches, you wake up in a hospital. But what if I told you that this giant has an off switch? A button that, if pressed correctly, shuts down his entire system instantly. It doesn't matter how much he benches. Biology doesn't care about your ego. This is physics vs power. Let's break it down. The myth of the heavy hand. We have all seen movies where two guys stand in the rain, trading massive punches for 10 minutes. That is absolute nonsense. Real fights are messy, fast, and usually end with one clean shot. The biggest lie you've been told is that you need heavy hands to knock someone out. You don't. Think about it. A bullet is tiny. It weighs nothing. But it travels so fast that it causes massive damage. Knocking someone out isn't about pushing them with your fist. It is about transferring energy. You don't need to be a heavyweight champion. You just need to understand leverage and acceleration. If you are trying to push his head off his shoulders, you are doing it wrong. You need to snap it. The anatomy of the off switch, the chin. Let's look at the biology. Why is the chin the button? The human head is a heavy bowling ball sitting on a thin stick, your spine. The chin is a lever. When you hit the chin from an angle, you create rotational force. It whips the head around violently. Inside the skull, the brain is floating in fluid. When the skull spins fast, the brain lags behind, then slams into the bone. This causes a massive electrical short circuit in the brainstem. The body goes limp. Lights out. It doesn't take 500 pounds of force to do this. It takes the right angle. A 12-year-old girl could knock out a bodybuilder if she hits that lever point cleanly while his mouth is open. Stop aiming for the face. Aim for the tip of the chin. Be water, not rock. The physics of speed now. How do you generate the force? Most guys tense up. They make a tight fist, squeeze their biceps, and throw a stiff punch. That is slow. That is like trying to hit someone with a log. You want to be a whip. Think about a wet towel. If you just press a towel against someone, it does nothing. But if you snap it, it cuts skin. To generate knockout power without size, you must stay loose. Relaxation is the secret to speed. Speed is power. Force equals mass times acceleration. Since you don't have the mass, the size, you must max out the acceleration. Your hand should be loose until the very last millisecond of impact. That is the snap. That is what drops giants. The kinetic chain using the floor here is the physics hack that changes everything. Your arm is not the weapon. Your arm is just the delivery system. The weapon is the planet Earth. Power comes from the ground. It travels up through your feet, twists through your hips, turns your shoulder, and finally extends through the fist. This is called the kinetic chain. If you punch with just your arm, you are using a tiny muscle. If you punch with your hips, you are using your entire body weight. Watch elite boxers like Tank Davis or Naoya Inoue. They aren't huge, but they hit like trucks. Why? Because when they punch, their feet dig into the ground and their hips rotate violently. They are throwing their entire body mass into a target the size of a coin. The element of surprise, the invisible punch there, is one last factor that physics can't explain, but neurology can. The punch that knocks you out is the one you don't see coming. If a big guy braces his neck and sees your punch coming, he can absorb it. His brain prepares for the impact. But if you catch him when he is breathing in, or when he is talking, or when he is blinking, his brain is offline. He has no defense. This is why counterpunching works. You use his own momentum against him. If he runs at you, he is adding his speed to your fist. You don't need to be strong. You just need to be precise. The bottom line, can you drop a guy twice your size? Yes. But not if you play his game. If you try to out-wrestle a bear, you get eaten. You have to be a sniper. Precision beats power. Timing beats speed. Stop trying to get huge arms to look tough. Start training your rotation, your accuracy, and your speed. The gym doesn't teach you how to fight. Physics does. Respect the science, protect your chin, and don't pick fights you don't need to. Now, get off the couch and go work on your form. Let's get to work.